Hey guys, it's Deanna and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we're literally just going to be discussing how the pandemic completely ruined our mental health. Yeah, if you can relate or if you're interested in hearing what I have to say and the coping mechanisms I've developed over this time, then just keep watching. I know personally, I had a lot of plans for this year. For 2020, I had a lot of plans for traveling. I was gonna go to EDC this year. I was gonna go to the big island of Hawaii. I was gonna do a lot of stuff, okay? And a lot of that involved travel, and it involved getting away from my own personal, mundane life. But, I think that for the most part, like, we've all just not had a good year. Like, we all have just not had a good experience throughout this whole quarantine pandemic time. And a big side effect I'm seeing of the pandemic amongst all of my peers is increased anxiety. I don't know why that is. I think that for everyone it's totally different. I know why why my anxiety has increased. But I know like there's been a lot of people who've experienced anxiety like with going outside. Like they've inadvertently developed agoraphobia. Like they do not feel comfortable leaving their house because they have such a deep fear that they're gonna catch the virus. I don't know, personally, I haven't felt that, but that's extremely valid and also very concerning because, even though I think that like we really should be taking this time I think that we should be taking it like very seriously, like in concern to like our health and the health of others. But at the same time, it's like we have to go outside. Like, as much as I want to preserve my own health and the health of those around me, like, I have to go outside to the grocery store to just get out of my own element, But personally, my anxiety has gotten worse. I've always had anxiety for quite some time, especially coming to Hawaii. I think, like, since I've come to Hawaii, like, my anxiety has just gotten so much worse from being in a place where I didn't know anyone when I came here. Like I came to this state alone, no friends here, no family here. Any friends that I do have currently, like I've had to make, here, which is, it's not easy making friends in a state where you know nobody. And it's, in this case, it's almost like a foreign country. It's a completely different culture. So I was definitely culture shocked and just like very reclusive when I first came here. But I kind of grew out of that. Sorry if like this is like a weird angle. Hold on. My anxiety's gotten a lot worse since the beginning of the pandemic because I wasn't able to leave my living quarters. I did, in a sense, develop a slight agoraphobia. I don't know why, and I don't know what it is exactly, but it's just like the thought of like going outside sometimes terrifies me, and it is truly crippling and debilitating, and I feel it like every day by day I feel it just breaking down my self-confidence, my my feelings of self-worth, my social and interpersonal relationships with other people. It's absolutely awful. You can't be independent and self-sufficient if you don't go outside. You know what I'm saying? It's been it's been a really rough couple of months. And realizing that like it's been 8 months. It's been 8 months that I've been dealing with that particular type of anxiety. I did go to therapy for it. Thankfully, therapy is not something that is very out of reach for me. Like it's something that's very readily available for me to access. So I was going to therapy for a little bit, and I felt like my therapist like didn't get it. Like they totally didn't get it. Like I would explain to them like that I have such bad anxiety to the point where it's like I feel like this. I feel like I'm like trapped in a corner even though I'm not, And they were like, "Well, have you tried going for a walk?" have I tried going for a walk? I literally cannot get up to brush my teeth. Like get up for a walk. Fundamentally, it makes sense that, just going outside and being in nature and outside of that cloud of darkness that might be your house or your bedroom, it makes sense for that to like counter the feelings that you get from being indoors. But at the same time, it's like, shit, I gotta get there first. You know what I'm saying? I have to build up the courage and the nerve and just the willpower to get myself out of bed, make my bed, get in the shower, brush my teeth, do my hair, do my makeup, not critique myself harshly in the mirror, and not talk shit about myself as I'm getting myself ready, not pick up the fat on my body, not do any of that stuff, and then mentally prepare myself to just be outside, not even around other people, just to be exposed outside. It's very, very difficult. I personally do find it, oh my God, this is such a hard thing for me to talk about. I'm not in that much control of my anxiety. Let's get that out of the way. I really have, like, in the battle between my independence and my sanity versus my anxiety wins every single time. For me, the thing it's not really been so much a battle of trying to overcome my anxiety, but rather trying to manage it and allow it to kind of have its time to exist, you know what I'm saying? Because anxiety is probably not something that's ever gonna fully go away from me. It's something that I've had damn near my whole life, you know? So it's really been more so a case of, well, fuck, I'm feeling anxious. Let me just like allow it to pass or allow this to happen, and then I'll manage it when I need to. I've developed some coping mechanisms to allow me to do that, you know, to allow myself like, well, fuck, I've been feeling really anxious lately. Let me just like sleep all day today and just like give into that feeling for right now. And then tomorrow I'll snap out of it and I'll get some shit done. So I have this is what I've been holding up. It's the Makeup by Mario Eye Prep and Set kit. So these are eye primers, right? I thought they were concealers when I saw them in the store. And that's why I bought them, because like to me this looks like my skin color. I bought this thinking that like I can use that to spot concealer on my face, and I thought this was a cream, but it's actually pressed powder. I don't know, I'm gonna try to use these to clean up my brows today and maybe spot conceal. Like I said, I'm not really going anywhere though, so I don't really care if my acne is showing. The texture of this product is kind of odd though. It's almost like a pot concealer, like a cream concealer, but when you try to blend it out, it has like a dry texture. It's very odd. I'm gonna try to cut my brows with it though. We'll see how this goes. So the first coping mechanism I personally find that works for me is to distract myself as best as I can. Now that might not necessarily be the healthiest coping mechanism, because all you're really doing when you're distracting yourself away from your anxiety is you're saying, I'm not gonna deal with you right now. I know you're still here, but I'm gonna go do this and then I'll come back to you later. You know, that's essentially what you're saying when you just distract yourself on the surface level. You're telling your anxiety, I can't deal with you right now, but later, maybe later we can talk. And for me, that kind of works because I never really have that later moment, you know? I distract myself and I get myself in a completely different state of mind, or just occupied with different things. And you know, another thing that I've noticed since the pandemic has started is my focus has been just out the window. I cannot focus for shit. I don't know about you guys, I can't focus on books. I can't do anything. At the beginning of the pandemic, I was binge watching shows. I was knitting hats and shit. Now it's very, very difficult for me to sit down and just complete one task, right? So I find myself, I find that a good thing sometimes when I am experiencing anxiety, because it allows my brain to just like drift off and think about 10 other things other than that one thing that was bothering me. That's what I've been doing for the past couple of months as like a quick fix, like in the moment I need to get my mind off of this. Sometimes I will practice breathing. That's something that's kind of hard for me to do though, because in order to utilize these coping mechanisms, it's uncomfortable to first face the fact that you need to use a coping mechanism to deal with your situation. That shit is so uncomfortable, it's embarrassing, it feels shameful, but it's not. It's actually none of those things. And it's very important that we kind of remind ourselves in that moment, like, this is pretty normal. A lot of people go through this and a lot of people overcome it, including you. Like, you can also overcome these feelings and these emotions. Another thing that I personally like to utilize is affirmations. I think I might have bought this like a year ago or like a year and a half ago. Around the time when I made my very first YouTube video, I think that's when I bought this, but it's called Morning Affirmations. It's really pretty, but like some of the font is really difficult to read because like they'll print white text on like a yellow background for some of these pages. Like can you read that? Because I can't. Like, I used to sleep with this under my pillow. Nowadays, I think I read it whenever I feel like I need to. If I'm having a really rough night, I'll make sure I put this like on top of my phone when I go to sleep, so that when I wake up, instead of reaching for my phone, I reach for this, and this is the first thing I read when I wake up in the mornings. As you can see, they're all like maybe 3 to 4 sentences long, but I think that these affirmations are just, they're beautiful and they're true. I'm allowed to change as many times as I need to for peace. I'm not limited to one way of walking this earth. I meet the winds of change with a river of peace flowing through my veins. I'm a light with possibility. To me, I interpret that as like, you know what? I am not obligated to still be the same person I was yesterday. Like, yesterday I was a crying mess. Yesterday I was, you know, binge eating, giving into every single impulse that, you know, crossed my brain. Today I don't have to be that same person, and I might have to face those consequences of the person I was yesterday, but I don't have to allow that to consume me anymore. Reading something like that first thing in the morning, it can totally change the outcome for the rest of your day. You know, it doesn't always. Sometimes you still have bad days, but it's good to just have that reminder, especially if you don't have someone in your life who's actually telling you things like that, or a support system where you can go to when you're feeling very anxious. It's good to have a resource like this that literally just is like, hey, chill the fuck out. Like, you're you, and that's okay. Another thing that I utilize is aromatherapy. I like to light candles. I used to like to light incense when I was feeling kind of anxious, but for some reason, like the scent of like incense burning, it doesn't calm me down anymore. I personally like really warm vanilla scented candles, like fall time, wintertime candle scents. Right now I have one burning, the French baguette candle from Bath and Body Works. It's so good. Stuff like that just really kind of reminds me that like there's subtle joys in life that like you can still indulge in, you know? There's, just because you have anxiety doesn't mean you can't ever be happy. I think like that's the thing that like for me makes coping mechanisms effective, is it reminds me that like, yes, you deal with anxiety, and like, yes, it's probably something you're gonna have for the rest of your life, but you can still enjoy your life dealing with that. So if anyone's wondering, by the way, this is the deepest shade that Mario Dedinovic, this is the darkest shade that he makes in his eye primer set. So I'm using these as concealers essentially, or I'm kind of testing it out as concealer, but they're quite light. They're very light. I'm assuming he made them so light because like in his mind, a darker person would want to use a lighter primer to have their shadow show up more, but it's not good for cutting the brows. I'm gonna say that right now. I'm probably gonna return this product. I feel so bad returning stuff sometimes because it just gets thrown in the garbage, but this is like not cute. Even as an eye primer, I would just use my concealer. Like I don't see the point in a product like this. Girl, ew. Another coping mechanism that I use is drinking tea. I am someone who deals with food-related anxiety as well as social anxiety. So the thought of like eating is very scary to me sometimes because it's so easy for that to kind of spiral out of control. And maybe one day I'll make another video talking about my relationship with food over the years and how that has kind of shaped how I view my body, how I view eating and food in general. Yeah, maybe one day I'll talk about that. But I like making a good cup of tea to calm me down because tea has 0 calories. It is delicious. I do not sweeten my tea and I do not put milk in my tea. Again, because like I said, I have food-related anxiety. So something like this is totally guilt-free for my conscious and for my anxiety. But it also physically relaxes me drinking something kind of warm. Saying for some people, eating does calm them down. For me, that's a very temporary sort of euphoria that I get and pleasure that I get. It's not lasting and it's not productive to me at all. The last coping mechanism I have is consulting religious or spiritual materials, such as reading the Bible, or for me, using oracle cards because I don't read the Bible. Oh my god, I'm literally matching. That's so funny. But I use oracle cards when I'm experiencing anxiety that's related to my situation in life or relationships that I'm having with other people. If I'm feeling emotions of being like unsure on my life path, or just like doubt, you know what I'm saying? Like if I'm doubting internally who I am or what I'm supposed to be doing with my life, or, you know, do I really want to be with this person, or is this friendship worth keeping? If that's the type of anxiety I'm experiencing, or financially or whatever, I consult my oracle cards. And I like this deck in particular. I really like this deck in particular because it is just spot freaking on. It's very spot on. It's very, very detailed. It's not such a lot of times when you read oracle cards, they can give you a very broad answer or a very broad kind of meaning for the card that can apply to damn near anybody in any situation. I like these cards because they're very, very specific, similar to how tarot cards are so specific. But at the same time, they do still give you ample room for interpretation. I'm really sorry you guys like can't see my face this whole video, but I kind of like don't care. This bad quality is just like, it's typical of my channel. Yeah, I haven't even realized until recently, but doing makeup is also a really effective coping mechanism for me. It really allows me the opportunity to just be busy with something, even if I don't have anywhere to go, or even if like I'm just kind of using up product and I'm not happy with the look that I come up with. It just gives me like 2 to 3 hours of not thinking about what I was dealing with before. And in that 2 to 3 hours, I can express my creativity. I can be busy with my hands. I can watch a show or listen to music to make me feel good. It allows you to just put yourself in a totally different frame of mind, honestly. I don't know if any of you guys will notice this, but all of the coping mechanisms I'm talking about today involve only one person, and that's yourself. I'm not going to share with you guys any coping mechanisms that revolve around you and another person, or that involve another person's support, because one thing that I have found to be true for my anxiety is that I'm often alone when I'm dealing with it. It's very, very rare that I want to be around other people when I'm experiencing anxiety. And then sometimes when you do reach out to people, they're just not available in that moment to be with you or to calm you down. Sometimes they don't know how to calm you down either, and it can be very discouraging. So I find it personally extremely important to know how to utilize coping mechanisms on your own, and not in solitude, but just not with another person's support. If you do have another person's support or access to somebody who, you know, can help you work through it, you are so lucky, and appreciate them and thank them for sticking by you, because it's not easy, you know, having friends or relatives or people close to you with anxiety. It's not easy, and not everyone is up for that challenge. At the same time, if you do not have a support system, don't think that you are hopeless, or that it's like a hopeless endeavor for you to try to get better and manage your anxiety. I also have this Natasha Denona lip gloss. I'm like not loving the color. It's very brown, and I feel like it washes me out. I feel like brown lip gloss like totally washes me out, and it just makes my lips look smaller. Like, I don't know, that like does nothing for me. I'm probably gonna return this too. Thank you guys so much for watching. This video was kind of all over the place. I know I talked a little bit more about my personal struggles with anxiety instead of giving you guys useful coping mechanisms, but I still hope that you were able to get something out of this. Let me know in the comments what coping mechanisms work for you personally. You do not have to disclose what type of anxiety you experience or how frequent, how severe, any of that stuff. Just what you do to manage it. Has any of this stuff worked for you? Have you tried this stuff and has it failed for you? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.